The time has officially come. GoFest is just a couple days away, and I want to get you guys ready for this event with my top tips and tricks that you need to know to maximize on Pokemon GoFest 2024. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, so first of all, if you want to know what is going down during Global GoFest, I will link below a video up here. I've already gone through a full breakdown of this event. If you want to know all the spawns, raids, all that stuff, watch that first and then come back. But let's start off with my general tips for Pokemon GoFest, things we should talk about before we even talk about the spawns and raids and all that stuff. Number one, before GoFest starts, use all of your premium items and get those ready before the event starts. Things like lucky eggs, star pieces, all that stuff. You don't want to be re-adding those throughout the day. So when 10 a.m. hits, first thing you do is go ahead and pop yourself 16 star pieces, 16 lucky eggs if you plan on using those items. Oh, and also incenses. Pop 8 incenses for the whole 8-hour event. Go ahead and mega evolve the correct Pokemon. Go ahead and activate Palkia's Spatial Ren for 8 hours as well, and get all that stuff out of the way so you're ready throughout the whole day and you don't have to reapply all those bonuses. Niantic just added a quick quality of life feature too, so you can actually just simply click on the item again to reuse a lucky egg or a star piece. Do that before you even catch a single Pokemon, so that's out of the way. Also, when GoFest starts, it's so overwhelming. That's the biggest comment I always get. There's raids, there's spawns, there's just so much going on. It's insane. So my tip number 2 is gonna be plan out your day. Decide what you're gonna be doing on the first day of GoFest on the Saturday and what you're gonna be doing on the second day. Generally, I recommend on the first day, go ahead and complete the Mars Shadow research if you have the ticket, and just generally focused on catching a lot of the spawns in the wild because we have the rotating habitats. Also complete all the research like the collection challenges, the global arena challenges, and all that stuff. Of course, if you do have the GoFest ticket, you will get those 9 free raid passes, so doing at least 9 raids on day 1 is going to be good. But then on day 2 is when I recommend raiding. 2 reasons for this. Number 1, you're gonna be done all the research and you already caught a bunch of spawns on day 1, so you wanna switch over to raiding more on day 2. But number 2, we also have the Necrozma forms in the Dawn Wings and Dusk main form active on day 2. So that's when you're gonna wanna focus on raiding, buying more raid passes, focusing on just doing more raids on day 2. So try to plan out your day and don't get overwhelmed when the event starts. You have plenty of time. It's a 16-hour event across the 2 days. You will get everything done, don't worry. But that gets us into the spawns and what would be the best spawns to hunt after in each habitat. Remember, first day we have rotating habitats, second day all these spawns are going to be thrown in. First, let's start off with the Dawn Meadows habitat. The best spawns, first of all, Pidgey is in there, which evolves into Pidgeot. Pidgeot is good in the Ultra League, good in some limited Great League Cups, and does have a Mega Form if you need a good IV one. We have Hoothoot in there, which evolves into Noctowl. Noctowl does sometimes see some play in the Great League. It has been nerfed recently, but this thing obviously with a single buff could come right back into the meta. Hoppip's in there, which evolves into Jumpluff. Jumpluff does see play in some limited Great League Cups. Wingle's in there, which evolves into Pelipper. Pelipper does see some play in some limited Great League Cups and in the Great League every now and then. Snivy's in there, which evolves into Superior. Superior is a pretty good Great League Pokemon to go ahead and have on your roster. Cottony's in there, which is a very good Little Cup Pokemon. Definitely go ahead and grab that one for the Little Cup. And same goes with Ducklet, which is spawning, which is good in the Little Cup. Ferroseed can evolve into Ferrothorn, which is a Pokemon has seen play in some limited Great League Cups. We have Axew in there, which evolves into Haxorus. Haxorus is a decent Dragon type Ray attacking Pokemon and also good in the Master League. Galarian Stunfisk in there, which is a pretty good Great League Pokemon, although it was nerfed a while ago, but again, with a single move update, Galarian Stunfisk could make its way back into the meta. And finally, Inkay's in there, which evolves into Malamar, which is good in the Psychic Cup and the Willpower Cup, I believe. Overall, not a really great habitat, probably one of the lesser habitats you can really focus on, and yes, maybe spend some more time raiding during that habitat. Moving on to the Shining Day habitat, we have Charmander, which evolves into Charizard. Charizard, of course, does have 2 Mega Forms in Pokemon Go, is a decent Fire-type Ray attacker, especially in its Shadow form, and also is good in the Great League and the Ultra League. Dratini's in there, which evolves into Dragonite. Dragonite is good in the Great League, Ultra League, and the Master League, pretty much all 3 leagues, and also good as a Dragon-type Raid attacker. Dunsparce is in there, which also is a decent Pokemon in some limited Great League Cups. Rosalia's in there, which falls into Roserade, a decent Poison and Grass-type Raid attacker. Helioptile's in there, which falls into Heliolisk. Heliolisk has seen play in the Ultra League. Again, Breaking Swipe did get nerfed, so it's not as good anymore, but with a single move update, this thing could be pretty good. Finally, Jangmo-O's in there, which the middle stage Hakamo'o is decent in the Great League, and Komo'o is decent in the Master League Premier Cup. And obviously, this is the new shiny during the event, so that's going to be a great one to click on and try to get that new shiny. Creeping Dusk habitat, the best ones, Eevee, which evolves, of course, into Umbreon, a good Pokemon for the Great League and the Ultra League, as well as Sylveon, which is a good Fairy-type Raid attacker. Gibble's in there, which evolves into Garchomp. Garchomp, of course, does have a Mega Form in Pokemon Go. Regular Garchomp is also good in the Master League and good as a Ground and a Dragon-type Raid attacker. Emolga's in there, which does see play in the Flying Cup when that does come back. Litwick's in there, which evolves into Chandelure, a good Ghost and Fire-type Raid attacker, especially in its Shadow form. Phantom's in there, which evolves into Trevenant, which just recently did get buffed this season. Very good Pokemon for the Great League and the Ultra League. And Grub is in there, which evolves into Chargabug, a good Pokemon for the Great League. Finally, moving on to the last habitat, Darkness Night habitat. There's Alolan Rattata evolving into Alolan Raticate, a good Pokemon for the Kanto Cup. Gligar itself is spawning, which is good in the Great League in itself. And you can evolve into Gliscor, which is good in the Ultra League. Sneasel's in there, which evolves into Weavile, a good Dark and Ice type Ray attacking Pokemon. Mudkip's in there, which evolves into Swampert, although Swampert is kind of outshined by Wishcash, is still a good Pokemon for the Great League and the Ultra League. And Swampert Squirtle also does have a Mega Form in Pokemon Go. Carvana's in there, which evolves into Sharpedo, does have a Mega Form in the game, so definitely go ahead and grab that. Dino's in there, which evolves into Hydreigon, which is a good Dark type attacking Pokemon, and also you can evolve into the middle stage, Zweilous, which is a good Pokemon for the Great League. Amora's in there, which evolves into Aurorus, a Pokemon that has seen play in the Ultra League and some limited Great League Cups. Carbink's in there, which is a good Pokemon for the Great League in itself. And finally, Morlul's in there, which does get you 500 Stardust every time you catch it, so definitely go ahead and catch those if you want to get a little bit more Stardust. Now, that's it for the spawns, but we also have exclusive Incense spawns for the ticket holders. Let's go through what are the best ones to grind. First of all, of course, all the unknowns that are spawning that spell out day and night. Catch those, click on those. Shiny Unknown, very rare Pokemon, very good for trades. Not good in meta relevance, but useful for trades. We also do have the Day Scarf Espeon and the Night Scarf Umbreon. Again, the Umbreon we talked about being pretty good. It'd be pretty cool to have a good PvP-IV Night Scarf Umbreon for Pokemon Go. Finally though, the exclusive spawns off the Incense for the different habitats. We do have a Maractus in there, which is a rare regional, if you want to go ahead and grab that. We have Corsola, which is a very, very rare shiny. If you end up getting shiny Corsola during this event, good for you. And also Corsola, a regional, so definitely go ahead and get that for the Pokedex. Finally, we have Vullaby as one of the Pokemon, which evolves into Mandibuzz, a good Pokemon for the Great League and the Ultra League. Whew! Okay, that is all the best spawns, but let's talk about the raids. What are the best raids to go after? First of all, the best spawns in the 1-star raids, only one I'm going to mention here, Jangmo is the new shiny during this event. I do want to mention Jangmo will most likely be the Community Day of June for next year, 2025. So trying to grind this new shiny through the raids or through the wild. If you get it through the wild, it's completely free, but spending a bunch of money on Jangmo shiny, is it really gonna be value to you? Because you'll probably get the shiny next year during Community Day like we saw with Goomy. So just consider that. Again, if you want it early, no fault to you, go ahead and try to grab it. In the 3-star raids, of course, we still do have that Night Scarf Umbreon you can grab, but let's move on to the 5-star raids of day 1. Now we have all the Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Go spawning during the 5-star raids on day 1, and they're gonna be global. So no matter where you are, you can raid all of these. They'll all be spawning. What are the best ones? First of all, Nihilego, a good poison type raid attacker in Pokemon Go, if you wanna raid that. Buzzwole, a Pokemon which does see some play in the Ultra League every once in a while. Pheromosa's in there, which is a good bug type raid attacker. Xurkitree's in there, which is the #1 electric type raid attacker, or #1 or #2 electric type raid attacker in Pokemon Go. Especially if you live in America or in Europe, you can't really get this thing, so definitely do a bunch of raids for it. We have Kartana in there, which is the best grass type raid attacker in Pokemon Go. Another great one to go ahead and raid. We have Guzzlord in there, which is a good Pokemon for the Great League and the Ultra League. We have Necrozma in there. I'm not gonna talk about Necrozma yet. We'll talk about when we talk about the fusion forms. So finally, we have Blacephalon in there, which is a good ghost and fire type raid attacker. Of course, that moves on to day 2 when you can go ahead and raid the Duskmane and Dawn Wings form of Necrozma. You'll get fusion energy for the Pokemon and you'll have the chance to catch regular Necrozma. Now, is regular Necrozma good? No, you don't really want to be using a regular Necrozma. It is not really good for anything, but you're gonna want to use it to fuse into the forms. Now, which one is going to be better? Now, Duskmane Necrozma is going to be a top steel type raid attacker in Pokemon Go, and it's also going to be ranked number 15 in the Master League. Dawn Wings, on the other hand, is going to be a top ghost type raid attacker in Pokemon Go, and it's going to be ranked 7 in the Master League. Overall, when people ask me between the two, which one's better, I just say go with the one you like the most because they are both beasts in Pokemon Go and they're both really, really good. By the end of the day, if you can get one of each, that's going to be the best thing to do. But again, you really can't go wrong with either one. They both have their pros and their cons. Again, if you need steel type raid attackers, go with Duskmane. If you need ghosts, go with Dawn Wings. And honestly, in the Master League, although their rankings are a bit different, they're pretty similar in terms of power. I will say though, try your best to get the best IV Necrozma you can and do not fuse until after GoFest. It takes 1,000 fusion energy and you don't want to be using all that fusion energy on a bad IV Necrozma. Remember how fusion works in Pokemon Go, it's all going to be based on the Necrozma you fuse. So if you fuse a bad IV Necrozma, it will have bad IVs when it's fused. Try your best to get a hundo, a 98 or whatever, and then wait till the end of the event when you make your final decision on which one you're going to be fusing. You could even just save all the energy, not fuse, wait till Necrozma comes back if you end up not getting a good IV during GloFest. Up to you. I will say though, unlimited remote raids are coming back, so doing a lot of raids is going to be pretty easy for you, although the prices are still increased. Yes, from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can do unlimited Pokemon Go remote raids. We're back to the old times, but again, it's going to be leaving at the end of Global GoFest. As always, I recommend going ahead and going into raiding Discords or downloading raiding apps. I will link below a video showing all of those where you can go ahead and invite people or join raids remotely, even if you have no friends in Pokemon Go. It's through the system. So definitely go ahead and check out that video if you want to do a bunch of Necrozma raids this weekend. But that was into our candy tips and our mega tips. If you don't know in Pokemon Go, you want to get a lot of candy for a lot of these spawns in the wild because you need candy to power Pokemon up. So what are my best candy tips during GoFest? Well, number one, if you followed my guide on how to get ready for GoFest, you should have a bunch of Pinap Berries ready. So go ahead and use those Pinap Berries on any of the rare spawns like, Axew, Gibble, Jangmo, to try to get more candies for those Pokemon. Regular Pinap Berries will multiply catch candy by 2 and Silvers by 2.34. Next up, go ahead and use Spatial Rend. I already mentioned this, but Palkia's Spatial Rend ability will double the spawn radius, allowing you to see more spawns. And I recommend recommend using 8 hours of it before the event even starts so you don't have to initiate it. More spawns you see, more Pokemon you catch, more candy you get, pretty self-explanatory. But that moves us on to Megas. If you don't know, when you Mega Evolve a Pokemon in Pokemon Go, you'll get more candy, XL candy, and XP for Pokemon you catch of that type. Since we have such a big variety of Pokemon spawning during this event, what are gonna be the best Megas to Mega Evolve for each habitat? Yes, I recommend on day 1 going ahead and changing your Mega every single hour so you're maximizing the amount of candy you get. Maybe even putting a reminder in your calendar or whatever, so every single hour you get a little ding saying, hey, change your Mega to this. Now, for the Dawn Meadows habitat, take a look at all the spawns. If you Mega Evolve a Mega Rayquaza, it will hit 8 of the 14 spawns. So definitely go ahead and Mega Evolve a Mega Rayquaza if you have that for the Dawn Meadows habitat. Next up, the Shining Day habitat. Looking at all the spawns, there's not a really Pokemon that will hit all the spawns. So what I've gone with is Mega Evolve a Mega Charizard X. That will get you more candies for Charmander, Dratini, and Jangmo, which are really the 3 Pokemon you want to be getting the most amount of candies for because they're like the rarest and most meta relevant. But Mega Charizard X will probably be your go-to for the Shining Day habitat. For the Creeping Dusk habitat, I've decided to go with either a Mega Pinsir, which hits, I believe, like 7 out of the 14 spawns, so it hits a good amount of the spawns if you want to try to get the most amount of candy for the most amount of Pokemon. But if you want to go for meta relevance and getting candies for Pokemon that actually matter and that you're probably going to power up, I would go with a Primal Groudon, getting you more candies for Gible, Litwick, Golett, and Phantom. Those candies will be very useful, especially if you're going to power those Pokemon up to use in PvP or raids. Finally, the last habitat, Darkness Night habitat. Pretty self-explanatory by the name. What Mega you should Mega Evolve, that's going to be Mega Tyranitar, getting you more candies for all the rock types like Carbink, but also all the dark types like Sneasel and Dino. Yeah, Mega Tyranitar is a easy choice for the Darkness Night habitat. Then on day 2, when all the habitats are gone and everything is just kind of shuffled in, I would definitely recommend Mega Evolving something to get more candies for a Pokemon you want a lot of candies for. Like, for example, if you're working on powering up, I don't know, a Dino or a Gible or a Jangmo, go ahead and Mega Evolve appropriately for that, whatever your goals are, because it's going to be kind of hard since all the spawns are just mangled in together to really kind of get one that hits everything. So just target what you need candies for. You can also go ahead and trade away Pokemon. Now, there's actually a special bonus going down from Monday, July 8th, 10 a.m. to July 14th, 11:59 p.m. Guaranteed XL candy from trades is actually back. Yes, Pokemon Go has brought it back for a small period of time. So after GoFest on day 1, and especially after GoFest on day 2, if you have a bunch of Pokemon you caught, you can go ahead and trade them away for guaranteed XL candies. When you trade a Pokemon, normally you'll get 1 candy, but with this bonus, you're gonna get 1 candy and a guaranteed XL candy. So say you catch, 100 Axews on day 1, and trade all those away and guarantee 100 Axew candies. Now, unfortunately, of course, after Global GoFest, once the week after, when you have a bunch of these Pokemon in your storage and you're wanting to trade them away, you're not gonna be getting guaranteed XL candies. What you can do is if you have a friend who went on a trip and has a bunch of distance Pokemon, don't know if you trade a Pokemon that were caught 100 kilometers away from each other, it actually re-invokes that bonus and you can get a guaranteed XL candy when you trade away Pokemon. So if you have a friend with a bunch of distance Pokemon, you can still get guaranteed XLs the week after. But if not, I would recommend just trading away Pokemon for Pokemon you want more candies for, because again, 1 candy per trade is better than nothing, right? Finally, go ahead and transfer Pokemon, which Pokemon Go has actually lined up pretty well. Binnacle Spotlight Hour on July 16th from 6 to 7 p.m. has the bonus of 2 times transfer candy. So don't transfer all your Pokemon right after GoFest ends. Wait until the Tuesday right after, mark them all in a tag or something, and then transfer them then. You'll get a bunch of extra XL candies. That brings us into our Platinum Medal tips. You need 35 Platinum Medals, go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. Which one should we be working on during this event? First of all, of course, all the type medals down here, work on these. We have pretty much every single type of Pokemon spawning during this event, so any of these you have to complete, go ahead and work on them. We also do have the Snapshot Medal, since we do have those exclusive snapshots for ticket holders during the event, so you can go ahead and work on this. You have the Rising Star Medal, defeat 150 species of Pokemon in raids. Of course, we're gonna have all the Ultra Beasts. If you've never raided one of the Ultra Beasts, do at least 1 raid towards them to get a point towards the Rising Star Medal. With Pikachu spawning in the wild, so work on your Pikachu fan medal, catch 1,000 Pikachus. They're gonna be everywhere, and if you don't know, if you actually receive a Pikachu from trade, it does get you a point towards this medal. If you're gonna be doing a bunch of trades after the event, like I mentioned, the Gentleman Medal will obviously be getting worked on. We do have 1-hour lure modules during this event, or just in general, I recommend dropping lures during this event because there's gonna be a lot of trainers out playing, and those trainers will be catching Pokemon off your lures, helping you work on the Picnicker medal, especially if you can get to a busy area or your area in Pokemon Go where everybody plays. Drop a lure, that's gonna get this medal super high. We have the Youngster medal, catch 1,000 tiny Rattatas. Alolan Rattata is spawning during the Darkness habitat, so go ahead and catch those. If they're under, I believe it's 1.34 kilograms, counts as a small rat. And if you don't know, if your friend catches a small Rattata, they can trade it over to you, get you another point towards this medal. And finally, I'm not sure if we have showcases during the event, but I'm guessing Niantic will throw them in, so you can work on your Showcase Star Medal, win 100 Pokestop showcases. Again, as always, go to the less busy showcases if you can. Drop in there, there'll be a higher chance of you winning because less competition. Final thing, I'm gonna go through some general tips for Pokemon Go Fest, things you should be really running for every single event. First of all, learn the quick catch technique. I will link below my video on how to do it, but it's pretty much a technique that allows you to catch Pokemon faster since you can skip the catching animation. Also, do not open the game before the event starts or catch any Pokemon or spend any Pokestops. If you're catching Pokemon and the event starts, those Pokemon were gonna switch into Go Fest spawns. So don't go ahead and catch anything because you don't wanna be taking away Go Fest spawns. And same with research. If you're spinning stops and completing field research tasks, those could have turned into Pokemon Go Fest field research tasks when the event started. So just try not to touch anything before 10 a.m. and then start when the event starts. And then finally, go ahead and activate a buddy that is at least the great buddy level because that will give you the buddy bounce back. So if you end up missing any Pokeball throws during the day, your buddy can sometimes come in, hit the ball back, and help you out. If you guys enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy the one below, and I wish you guys the best of luck on Pokemon Go Fest. Stay tuned for plenty fun videos about Global Go Fest. We got some fun things in the works here, and let me know any other tips that I might have missed in the comment section below. Follow for tips. Peace.